On Wednesday, the U.S. House approved a bill that requires unauthorized migrants accused of a violent crime or theft to be detained. The Laken Riley Act, which also passed in the Senate, is one of the first pieces of legislation awaiting President Trump's signature. The act was named after a 22-year-old Georgia woman murdered by a Venezuelan man who had previously been charged with theft. Paired with the bill was an amendment spearheaded by Iowa Senator Joni Ernst that was previously a standalone bill called Sarah's Law. The law was filed on behalf of a 21-year-old Iowa woman who was killed in a drunk driving crash by a 19-year-old man who was in the U.S. illegally. The man posted bail and was later released by the Department of Health and Human Services to a sponsor. Local 5's Larissa Leone joins us after speaking to Sarah Root's mother on her feelings after the progress of the bill.
Michelle Root clings to the memories of her late daughter.
She was just a ray of sunshine.
Root's daughter Sarah was 21 years old when she passed. On the night of her college graduation, Sarah was hit and killed by a drunk driver who was in the U.S. illegally. Michelle can paint the image of her daughter in the hospital as if it were yesterday.
And I couldn't believe she was gone because it just looked like she was sleeping. She was warm. Just all those things. You couldn't see the physical injuries on the front of her because everything was on the back of her body.
The man charged with her death was released on bail on the same day Sarah's family was preparing funeral arrangements.
Then we found out that they didn't put an ankle monitor on him. They had told him to come back the next day to get the ankle monitor and do drug and alcohol testing. Well, he had a failure to appear back in May when they issued a warrant for his arrest.
Michelle says from there, authorities have never been able to locate the man, pushing her to take to local politicians for help. Among them is Senator Joni Ernst, who has pushed for her bill called Sarah's Law.
Every year around Sarah's death anniversary, she always brings up Sarah's Law to the Senate, and it never has enough votes to pass, or even sometimes not enough votes to get onto the floor.
After 9 years, Sarah's Law is now an amendment to the Laken Riley Act, which passed both chambers and now awaits President Trump's signature. The progress is something Michelle sees as a double-edged sword.
It should have never taken another high-profile death to get people to come on board to get something passed. Because I am a true believer, and I'm not naive, that if we would have had these things in place, Sarah wouldn't have been killed.
Michelle says every year there is a run in Sarah's honor, and her family celebrates her on her birthday with cake and balloons. Stephanie.